Hello, this is my final project for C++ in fall of 2018. So I decided to do the recommended adventure game builder for my final project. This includes one class file. I did go through the demo, but it includes one class file, one header file. The header file is room.h. It includes getters and setters for the name and description, the enumerator for the directions of north, east, south, west, and two constructors for the room object, right? Then rooms.cpp includes all of the actual functions, and what really matters is the program that I wrote and how it operates. So I guess a quick 2 minutes on talking what I did. So the format I did not change at all. The function definitions, the headers for each function I didn't change. It's all default what was included in the download, the original download from Canvas. And I wanted to try to see if I could make everything work the way it was supposed to, with kind of like restricting myself to that to those parameters. So first off is I have my one-time introduction for the game. I called it Continuum. And of course we have our vector being created and pushing back a current room, so that way as soon as the player spawns in, they're automatically in the void. And then we have my menu coming in right before it goes into a do while loop. So the menu is right here. This can be called at any point using the question mark option. And actually, I forgot to include, let's see here, jump, J for jump. I forgot to include this last jump to disconnected room. This last little piece. Okay, I suppose now I'm done. But this includes all of the different functions. I decided to change the formatting a little bit for readability, and just to make it clear that this is separate from the commands, and I really wanted to focus on design, considering that it did not take me very long to complete each of the functions, especially considering rename was kind of a, for better or for worse, a copy and paste of description. There are other things that I wanted to do, but with limited time, I had to forego some of those things. So these are all the commands that I included. I have done 5 points of extra credit with including the jump command. So after it goes through the main menu, it's going to go into the do while loop, which is a switch case, and it goes through a little bit of error handling right off the bat, with just making sure that any direction that they decide to go into is an actual room and not a null pointer. So then we have all the different cases for the different functions. And then after we go through the do while loop, as soon as the choice becomes a capital Q, I also made it caps, not uncaps. I feel like it, again, is just for readability and for our clarity. We destroy all of the room objects through this little for loop that was talked about inside of the demo video. The look function was pretty simple. It was just accessing the current rooms, or I guess whatever room is passed into it, that pointer's actual. You're accessing the getters, right? You're accessing the getters for that room object, and you're saying, okay, let's look at the object and let's point to the name parameter of that object. So that was a quick one. Jump was interesting. I found that in order for me to I originally had it like this, where it was passed by value and not passed by reference. And when I set current equals to that specific room that they chose from a list, nothing changed, and they would just stay in the same room. And I figured out, well, you have to be able to change the current room. You can't just change whatever the copy is that's in the jump function. You have to change that room entirely, whether it's, it went where it's referenced up here too. So you have to pass by reference, not pass by value. It just quickly tells you the existing rooms. It prints them out and then asks you which room you want to jump to with an integer choice. For add, it just creates a arbitrary room and connects it between two directions, your current room's exit and then the temporary room's exit, to bring yourself back to your current room. If this brings back, so this is a Boolean function, connect, and if you are able to connect your current room to this new room, then it will come back as true, and you will get a message saying connection is successful, and then you will actually add that temporary room to the all rooms vector. So instead of adding it up here, which is what I originally had, I had all rooms dot push back up here. What that would do is it would create rooms that were kind of lost in just in the space of in the memory of the game. As long as it was running, it would be lost. And I think it's somewhat of a memory leak in that you could try to create or add 20 different rooms, and you could have all of them not be connected because you are choosing the wrong direction, and all of those rooms would still exist within the vector because you did create them and they were added. So I decided it would be a lot better if it would only add to the vector if the connection was actually successful. Otherwise, it's not going to add to the vector. And when you actually quit the game, when it shows you all of the rooms that are being destroyed, it's not going to show you a list of a bunch of rooms that you didn't even know existed because you thought they weren't successful. Moving forward to connect, this is the most elaborate function, I believe, in the entire project. And so the first thing we do is ask, we connect, or what I decided to do was show them the current room that they're in, and ask them which direction in this current room do you want to connect an existing room. And depending on each case, we know we have north, we have east, we have south, we have west. And for each one of those cases, we also have to ask them which direction is going to come back, right? So we have north. It's pretty much copy and paste with inside of this conditional. So once you say, okay, I want to connect in this direction, it's going to tell you the existing rooms, print those out for you, and ask you which room you want to connect to, and which direction from that room is going to lead back to the current room. And of course, again, you have to go through another conditional where you make sure that those directions are valid and they're pointing to null directions. That way they can be utilized. And again, if it's successful, then they get a connection successful. And if it's not, what they enter is not a valid character, they get an invalid command. Otherwise, it must be a connection cannot be established error, and the pathways in the existing room is already taken. So again, more error handling, and again, for every direction, it's practically the same process. In fact, it is the exact same process. And for the original, what direction they want to add an existing room, the final else if and else is, again, if they don't enter a valid character, or that direction is already taken, the pathway already taken, they'll get an error, connection cannot be established. Rename, again, was the same as description, just taking in a character value. There is one error that I was not able to address just due to time constraints, but if a user enters in more than one character, say they enter the word restart, right? or any random amount of characters. If whatever string they enter has the characters that are accepted, it will accept that character and perform the command. And then the next character will also perform a command if that's accepted. And it'll go through every character within that string and act as if that's a singular command. So I think that's an error, and I would have liked to address that more, but I wasn't able to. And of course, exits is just printing out all 4 directions and pointing out if there's if that direction is null or not. So that being said, of course, we have our direction to character, or char to direction for our enumerator. That being said, we can go ahead and run it, and I can go through all of the commands. So we have welcome to Continuum, and we have my main menu. Caps lock is recommended, so I'm going to go and turn caps lock on, and we have our list of commands. So again, if we look north, or if we try to go north, east, south, west, we get you just can't go that way. We can look. Our current room is void. There's nothing but blackness in every direction. We can change the name, so we can rename, and we can change it to first room. Change the description. This is the first room. And we can take another look. Take a look at our exits. Nothing going on anywhere. And let's go ahead and add a room. So we can add a room. Enter direction from current room to new room. Let's go north first. And we can go south, make it a little bit easier. We can connect our room to itself. I might be able to demonstrate that if time allows me. I'm currently at 11 minutes, so I only have about 4 minutes left for this recording. But you can do that, and you can make it to where you enter in a room north and you exit east to come back, or whatever direction you like. So now we do have that new room. We're still in the first room, but we do have a new direction. North is the Enigma. We go north, we look, and it's the Enigma, place that goes beyond your ability to perceive. So again, I can go ahead and rename this room to whatever I like. I'm going to go ahead and call it second for ease, and change the description. This is the second room. And of course, every time a user enters a command, I wanted to separate it. I really enjoyed looking at design. Even though it's a simple print statement, it's basically really elaborate ways to say hello world. I still enjoyed making the formatting be something that feels proper, instead of it just feeling like you're on a command line, to actually feel like you're entering something into a game, right? So now we have 2 rooms. We have second, and to the south we have first. Let's go ahead and move south. We're now in first room, and let's go ahead and add a room to the south of the first room. So we're going to go south, then north, and then we're going to go look at our exits. Now we have something to the south, so let's go south. Change our name from Enigma to third. And then description to this, this is the third room. So now we have exits to the north. We have first. If we go north, we look at our exits. We have something to the south and the north. So what we can do is first, we can go south. And right now, we're in the third room. We can look at our exits. We have first to the north. And then second is not actually attached to the third room. But we can go ahead and do our jump command and have it show us the list of rooms. We can jump to the first room, and it should allow us to be, or excuse me, the first option, or the first index, but it's attached to, in the vector, the second room. Now we are in the second room. If we look south, let's go back north. If we look south, the south is first. We can go south and look at the exits again, and the south is third. We can also go north, which brings us to the second room. That's not attached to the third room, but we can connect it. And we're currently in the second room. Which direction in second do you want to connect an existing room? Let's go east. And we can connect to the third room, which is 2 index. Which direction from third will lead back to second? Let's go west. Connection is successful. So now if we look at our exits, we do have third going to the east, and we can go to east. Look, we are now in the third room. Look at our exits, and to the west we have second. So the connect function is being displayed there. And what else do we have? Let's bring up our menu again. Looks like we've done all the things that we can do. And I guess now the last thing is to do is quit.